This is Wednesday Night Worship Part 4, a full training series built to help you train your worship team in a small to mid-sized church, and only using inexpensive gear and your X32 or M32. In this video, we're going to talk about keyboards, what makes a keyboard sound good in a mix, where a piano or a keyboard needs to sit in the mix, and some simple strategies to adjust the playing style of the keyboard so that it complements the rest of the mix. You don't need the highest end keyboard, and you don't have to pull from a library of millions of sounds to have a sound that works in a simple church mix. So here's the song that we're about to build.
You are worthy of it all. 'Cause you are worthy of it all.
And this is part 4 of Wednesday Night Worship. It's already available inside my X32 starter pack. So if you want access to this plus hours of other lessons and the console presets that I'm using in this video, just hit the link below, sign up there. Now let's talk through the piano parts. So the pads, the pianos, those kinds of instruments, a lot of times are leaned heavily on in worship music because of the popularity of, droney pads, those kinds of space-filling things. I want to give you my perspective from front of house, my take on how you can best use those tools. So for this, I've got a very basic Nord Electro 3. We've had this thing forever. It doesn't have many sounds on it. It's basically an organ with some samples and then pianos. And for the sake of this video, I'm using the grand piano model number 1. I've turned on a little bit of chorus. Actually, I don't even have the effect on. I have it on, but I don't have anything cranked up. So the effect chorus 1 is on, but the effect's at 0. The reverb is the soft hall at 5 out of 10. Then the EQ is, I'm boosting some of the, what they call treble, about 5 dB, and then boosting it around 8K, about 5 more dB on that effects section EQ there. So that's it. And then that is running into the auxiliary verb on the console. So that's what's happening on the keyboard itself, and then that is running straight into the X32 through a couple of the basic Whirlwind passive DIs, and then that is going through my keyboard preset that you get in the X32 starter pack, and using the auxiliary verb on top of that, just a little bit of it. So then a few things, I'm just saying this but in case anything looks funny, I am having to use the octave shift. I'm in the key of G, but I'm having to use the octave shift because that key doesn't work. I found out the hard way. So my G, an octave or 2 down doesn't work. And at the time of recording this video, I started having an issue with my sustain pedal. So I'm going to rely heavily on the tracks I've already recorded. And there we go. And we'll make it happen from there. So the pad you hear is actually just a straight drone pad, because this board doesn't this keyboard doesn't have that built in, and a ton of churches use those basic drone pads. They're so common. I mean, everyone's running them as a way of filling extra space, because not everyone has a keyboard that has nice pads on it. So drone pad is in the computer. It's just running, and then the keys itself, the piano sounds coming straight off of the Nord Electro 3 with the grand piano model 1. A little bit of top end boosted on the EQ on the unit itself. Chorus effect is turned on. Just real quick. Okay, then with the chorus and with the verb. All right, so pretty basic setup. So let's dive straight in. The piano itself doesn't come in until the first chorus where the band comes in. So I'll just jump straight into it. We'll lead into it just a little bit.
God and elders cast their crowns before the Lamb of God and sing, You're worthy of it all. 'Cause you're worthy of it all. Are all things and singing.
Okay, so for the chorus, because leading up to that section, there's been a lot of sparseness. It's been a very sparse mix. Everything's been really calm, quiet. When that chorus hit, I wanted it to be a moment and I wanted some movement to start happening. And so all I'm doing there is bouncing between the 1 and the 5 note. So I'm on the 1. You can mess around with that. And all I'm going is G, D, G, D, G, D, G, D, and just bouncing between the two. Jump to the C. And with that, I like finding a common tone between chords. Or if a vocal is hanging out on a certain note that might actually not be in the chord itself, I kind of like that sound where I'm actually keeping that 1 and 5 on the top end going. But even when I go to the C, and then you can drop down to that, G, C. And when you hit that 2, you hit the 5. So walking it down, I'm basically just hanging out in that basic G scale in my right hand and doing some following the melody. But just the main thing I'm really adding there is the bouncing around between the 1 and the 5, and using that not so much as more chords in there, more chord happenings, but just more of the movement. So that's really all I'm focusing on there is the movement. And so that's the chorus, but we don't want to just keep doing the same thing. So there, when this turn happens, I'm going to start doubling the melody, but I'm even going to change the rhythm I'm playing a little bit to make it a distinct part.
See.
Just keeping that straight there. Missing notes over here. Okay, so through that section, we come out of that chorus, and we're mainly focusing on movement. Well, now, when that turn happens and we're singing, I'm focusing more on doubling the vocal and keeping it on that chorus, or on that quarter note, or eighth note, whatever that technically is. And then when that section ends, because we want it to change, we want to not just keep doing the same thing over and over, we bounce back to that. Does that make sense? We're always looking for a transition. Transition again. go back.
Angels, they bow before you.
Just supporting the melody there. Missing notes. Alright, here comes the chorus. Okay, so that's another big section there. So what we're gonna do, let's
Elders cast their crowns before the Lamb of
and we drop down an octave.
God and sing, you're worthy of it all. Worthy of it all. And for
Okay, so in the first chorus we're up here, and again, I'm having trouble. I'm having to do an octave shift.
God and sing, you worthy of it all. You worthy of it all. From you are all things, and to you are all things. You deserve the glory.
And so one of the reasons dropping down the octave there works, you know, I don't like, or this happens all the time. Whenever a band wants to start playing bigger, everyone plays lower. Everyone tends to drop an octave because you yourself, it sounds big, it sounds full and rich. But when everyone is playing that way, then there's no top end information. There's nothing happening up there to expand out that frequency range and give things the size that you're really going for. And so what happens there is I drop the piano, but that's with the knowledge that the electric is going to go back up. Right? During that verse, the electric is playing down, but I know that that electric player is going to go back up an octave, and so the piano can then take over. Right? And so that's why that works, is because one is taking care of one job, the other's taking care of the other. And just like we talked about in the other video, when we land into that chorus, you have to be okay with
God and sing, you're worthy of it all.
being okay with that break and letting some silence happen. And then so from there, we ride out that same idea through that chorus.
And for from you are all things, and to you are all things. You deserve the glory. Yes, you do, Jesus. You're worthy of it all. You deserve the glory.
And then each of those sections, whenever we break out of the vocal, whenever the vocal breaks, you deserve the glory, we actually jump back into that. To give some more movement happening and give the ear something to focus on, to give the people something to then focus on when the singing isn't happening.
To you are all, yes, you do, Jesus. You're worthy of it all.
And on that chorus, I just stayed in that section with the guitar, kind of doubling it.
To you are all things. You deserve the glory. Day and night.
And from here, just go into the bouncing.
Night.
Yep, and back to that. And so that section there, letting that bottom drop out on that 5 before we go back into the chorus. And part of that is because I was having to do an octave shift there, but you get the point that before you go into a big section, you can kind of let the bottom drop out and let that ring, let it breathe before it then changes again. A lot of times when you want a really big chorus, you don't necessarily have to do anything crazy when you get there. You just set it up before you get there. And from there, we just ride that out.
And to you are all things, 'cause you deserve the glory. You're worthy of it all.
So the main takeaway from this video should be that the piano doesn't have to play the fullest chord voicings all the time. There is a rhythmic element and a textural element to the keyboard, to the piano even. It doesn't have to be a synth. It can be a basic piano sound like this. It doesn't really get a whole lot more basic than this. You don't have to be playing, these, crazy full chords all the time. You can keep it simple and technically be playing 2 notes, but be playing it in an interesting way so that it adds a new texture, something that the listener, the person singing with you can latch onto and engage with. Always think about the bigger picture. Always think about what the person next to you is playing. Always, and as a sound person, always think about how these elements can fit together. Don't just think this has to be the biggest piano sound on the planet. Think, can I fit this in with the rest of the stuff playing? So I hope this has been helpful. In the next video, we're going to talk about the cajon, the shaker, the more rhythmic elements of this, and how those also have a huge impact on what the other people involved can and should play as well. So I'll see you guys in that one.